Woo! Got some ghost peppers. Not a lot. It's 1 3/4 ounces. But this is enough to make a nice little batch of some hot sauce. So let's do that. So I have all my ingredients prepped and they're ready to go into the Instant Pot. I'm going to be cooking this, and that's going to allow everything to get nice and soft, and it just makes it really easy to blend. So I'm starting off here with that 1 3/4 ounces of ghost peppers. I want to stick with red peppers here, so I've got a pound of red bell peppers. I've got 4 ounces of chopped, this is just regular onion there, some yellow onions. I've got a pound of chopped carrots from the garden. I have 2 ounces of garlic. And then I've got here some spices. I've got a ½ teaspoon each of kosher salt and peppercorns, and then a teaspoon of just a nice paprika. Get that in there. And then lastly, this is kind of, well, not lastly, second lastly, this is sort of an oddball ingredient. This is 8 ounces of dark cherry and sour cherry preserves. And this was like a jar that my wonderful mother-in-law made for me here. But I found that they'd been preserved for quite a while by the looks of it, and they were just falling apart as I was trying to get the pits out. So they look kind of mushy, but I'm hoping that'll give this kind of like a nice, interesting tartness, as well as a little sweetness. And then I have 2 3/4 cups of an apple cider vinegar. Pop that into here. I'm going to get the Instant Pot fired up on manual for 4 minutes, and that'll be enough to really get those carrots cooked and good to go. After that 4 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and release the pressure. Meanwhile, my precision cooker is heating up to 150 Fahrenheit. So now that everything's all cooked, I'm going to go ahead and blend it all up. So I'm just going to get, this will probably be at least 2 batches here in the blender. Don't want to go too full. All right. Now I'm going to cover this here with a little towel in case of disaster, and then I find if you just kind of pulse it a little bit to break stuff up, you're less likely to have an explosion. I'm just going to add a little bit extra liquid to this. Make it a little smoother. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and just pour this into a large bowl so that all the batches I run through this blender can be mixed together prior to putting in the jars. So I did a tasting and everything's basically balanced out how I want, so I don't need to adjust the recipe. So now it is time to get these into some jars. So now that all my sauce is in jars, I'm going to go ahead and put it into the hot water bath here. So it's going to get 150 Fahrenheit for 2 hours. And so by using the sous vide process here, I'm able to get the shelf-stable hot sauce without having to pressure can, which can, you know, change the color, kind of dull it a little bit, or even change the flavor a little bit. So I really like this particular method. If you don't have a precision cooker, you could certainly do the same thing here with your canner. It just won't be exactly the same as mine. So just after 2 hours here, I'm going to pull these out, just kind of wipe off a bit of that water and get them cooling down. I could have left this longer, but 2 hours is sort of a sweet spot to make sure that you've got this pasteurized here and everything's going to be safe. I'm really happy with this sauce. It's definitely not what first came into my mind when I'm like, oh, I'm gonna make a ghost pepper sauce. Because that didn't kill me there. It's got just enough heat to be like a decent little hot sauce, but it's almost like a buddy of mine was like, this is almost like un-ghost pepper sauce, and we laughed and named it Casper, and it's delightful. But this goes great on burgers, on sausages, with pulled pork and barbecue. Absolutely fantastic. In fact, right now I'm going to make a little breakfast sandwich here and put some on. For the sandwich, I'm just starting off with a lightly buttered bun there. I'm going to throw a healthy little dose of this hot sauce here on both. Then
we're gonna go here with an egg. This is a homemade bratwurst patty, just with some American cheese on it. We're gonna go 2 layers because that is fantastic. Something that will be difficult to put in my face. And boom, just like so. Now, just before I go ahead and eat that, got to clean off that spoon, right? So those vegetables, the garlic, everything comes through really nicely. The sweetness of those cherries, coupled with the tartness of them, I think plays super nicely here with those ghost peppers and that sort of sharp heat that it's bringing. And I think it's really fun. This was a great way to actually kind of stretch those ghost peppers to make something that wasn't insanely hot, but has a really great quality flavor, is really versatile, is loaded all over this, this breakfast sandwich. And I'm going to try not to dislocate my jaw trying to get this in there. So yeah, have fun, play around, and keep her at 11.
I love how you bit it.